There's something about the knockout game that really brings out the trolls. Hi, this is Colin Flaherty. I'm the author of Don't Make the Black Kids Angry. Here we talk about black mob violence, black on white crime, the knockout game, and the greatest hoax of our generation, the myth of black victimization. All without racism, without rancor, without apology. So in the knockout game, I've been writing about the knockout game longer and more than anybody in the country. But whenever I write about the knockout game or do a video on it, a couple people always come out of the woodwork and they go, "Colin, that's not the knockout game. Because the person with never filed his knockout game report with the International Association of Knockout People. And until they do that, that's not the knockout game. And they only meet once every 62 years. So that's not the knockout game. And Colin, you don't know what you're talking about." Yeah, it's just about as bad as that. So let me tell you what the knockout game is. The knockout game is when somebody beats the hell out of you for the hell of it. It's a black on white thing. That's what happened here. Let's go to the video, but I want to save the best part till the end, where we talk about the reporter who says this happened for no reason and why that's a lie.
Things changed so quick for me that night, and you just realize what your family is to you.
He's on the road to recovery after he was brutally attacked for no reason. Police say two men beat a 60-year-old man on his own property, unprovoked, sending the victim to the hospital. New at 6, Fox 4's Judy Lee sits down with a man who says he barely remembers what happened the day of the attack.
It's a fuzzy memory for Frank Kenny of the day two men attacked him at his own home. The worst part is that he says he can't remember why.
Kenny was mowing his lawn, and then he was in a hospital bed. That's all he remembers of June 29th.
And I thought I'd been in a car wreck or something. I had my family there at the foot of the bed and a doctor. And
police say two men beat Kenny in the face in his own backyard and then took off. The 60-year-old suffered a broken jaw and shattered cheek.
the molar was put up, so it wasn't robbery.
Several surgeries later, Kenny's mouth is wired shut, forcing him to eat liquids.
Many cards and flowers have been sent to me.
And he now has double vision from a blood clot, which means he can no longer work as a barber. The bills are mounting up.
Being a barber and working on a commission, you know, if I'm not behind that chair, I have no money coming in.
He's slowly recovering.
I got a lot of serious ones and then a lot of comical ones.
With the help of friends, families, and customers he's made along the way.
It just overwhelmed me, the kindness in people. You know, what happened to me was bad, but the goodness has overridden that. Let's
talk about the no reason and how it's unexplained. So let's say you come to the scene of a car crash. Guy crashes into a telephone pole. In the car, there's a bunch of beer bottles, whiskey bottles, and he's staggering around. Well, how do we know that's what caused the crash, that he was a drunk? Well, we don't. So now we come upon a scene of black on white violence, and the reporter goes, well, it's unexplained or it happened for no reason, which is two different things, right? Well, in Kansas City, like lots of other places in this country, there's a black on white violence is enormously and wildly out of proportion. So not knowing anything else about this, if we came upon that scene and the guy said, yeah, two guys came by and punched me in the face without warning, without provocation, then if we went to a mathematician and we said, well, what are the chances a white person did that? He would tell you. What are the chances a black person did that? They would tell you. And even those numbers are kind of skewed, right? Because if you did national numbers, you would have all this information from places where this does not happen. But if you just did numbers in Kansas City, numbers in neighborhoods where black people and white people live close to each other, we would see this number is wildly out of proportion. The proportion of black on white versus white on black is 50, 100, 1,000 to 1. And so now the reporter looks at us and goes, well, I just can't explain what this is. No, in reality is this reporter absolutely knows what it is. This is an example of black on white violence. If you need all sorts of causes and solutions to surround that, about black on white racial hostility, that's about as simple as it gets. That reporter is just not brave enough to talk about that, whether it's the anchor or the person in the field. They get extra credit. You know what? I almost want to say they get extra credit for putting up the police report where the police report identifies the people as black, the perpetrators. But nobody's saying that, listen, black and white crime in Kansas City is a problem. It's a problem down at the Country Club Plaza. It's a problem at schools. It's a problem all over the dang place. This was the knockout game. This old white dude is an archetypal victim of the knockout game. Bunch of black people beat the hell out of him just for the hell of it. If you want to learn more about the knockout game, listen, go get my book from Amazon, The Knockout Game. A Lie? Oh, hell no. I suggest you get the electronic, the Kindle version or whatever your ePad is, your e-reader is. Because there's lots of live links there, but also I'm going to put a link on this channel that you'll see on my YouTube channel. I'll put a link to a 1-hour video I made of the knockout game. There's not a lot of me talking. It's just a lot of people punching and being knocked out. Some much worse than this old dude in this photograph. And don't make the black kids angry. We're all over black on white crime, black mob violence, and the denial in Kansas City. It's amazing how much stuff goes on there. So when you're in Kansas City, Missouri, enjoy the barbecue. Everybody likes that. Some people like going to Country Club Plaza. They like checking out the Royals. But just do me a favor and remember one thing when you're in Kansas City. Don't make the black kids angry.